remember those days. My older siblings would remember when they first integrated the public schools of Frederick. Those days led me to want to be a teacher. And that's the topic of our discussion today, which is the power of education. I, from having had this great blessing of 40 years, first of all, started before that with good teachers, very good teachers. Believing that the American public education system really is the foundation of our American democracy, and that the calling right now, despite the fact that many people think that the calling for the great failing of the American public education system is that we don't test enough, or that we aren't competing enough. I think where we've really fallen short is related to international education, and preparing and recognizing that the greatest thing we must do in American public education is we must teach global citizenry. We must have international education. Our own democracy is going to depend on that, and world peace is going to depend upon that. To change the minds and the hearts throughout the world, we have to begin with education, and it can never begin too early. Again, my own experiences, being a mother of 3 and a grandmother of 3, the entire foundation, I believe, and I believe that the cognitive science behind this supports, the foundation for all learning is laid in early childhood. Nelson Mandela believed in early childhood. We must follow that example in America. We do not invest enough in early childhood education. There are 3 areas that I think we fall short in American public education. We heard today from one of the earlier panelists that you should know the language of your enemy, and that Mandela studied Afrikaans. But we must know not only the language of our enemies, but we have to start in American public schools with for our children in early childhood education to know the heritage language of their friends, of the children they're going to school with. I think that we fall considerably short in related to world language instruction in America. When you visit other countries, especially when you visit Europe, you see that there are children in 3rd grade who can speak 5 languages. I think the most important thing as an educator is that we do know that the earlier a child learns a language, for the rest of their life, the cognitive ability to learn more languages is heightened. So I think world language education is one of the major directions we have to take, beginning in early childhood. World travel and international study. I think that we have had a history in American public education of supporting international exchanges, study abroad, wonderful, wonderful relationships. But I think that a lot of that has fallen off because of fear. And I think that a lot of public education entities are backing away from it because of the fear of terrorism. We must look fear in the face, and we have to have more world travel and more international study in public education and throughout all education. I speak from the perspective of public education because that's my 40-year experience.